Hello. Hi, my name is Martin. I have a background working in IT in the areas of quality management and laboratory information management systems in the pharmaceutical industry. After receiving my Bachelor of Science degree in chemistry, I started work at a pharmaceutical company as a chemist, testing materials at all stages of the manufacturing process. The laboratory was mostly automated with several systems, but they did not share information that had a severe impact on efficiency of the entire company. On my own time, I decided to learn more about each system and develop methods to integrate the various data sources using the tools supplied by the systems and common Microsoft Office tools. The end result was an integrated system that allowed any functional group in a company to access all data related to the drug manufacturing process in real time, from receiving the raw materials to shipping the drugs out the door. This improved accuracy and compliance to this regulated industry. Working in a pharmaceutical domain, I know the importance of taking your medication at the prescribed times, and also that many people have issues remembering to comply with their medication regimen. To this end, I would like to create a capstone project that allows the user to track and be notified when their medication is due to be taken and record their compliance. Now, do you have a friend or family member that needs help tracking their medication regimen? Would you like an application that would automatically send you or your grandma a reminder to take their meds and then be notified whether they did or not? Let me show you what I've created. Let me share my screen. Okay, so here's my capstone project. In the process of building this, I used Jira to track all the individual items that I wanted to put in the project and track them from the 2-week sprints. And with the eventuality of producing after 2 weeks, a minimum viable piece of code that performed a function. That include incorporating APIs, setting up wireframing, and actually putting the code in. And some of the things that Agile helped with is if you get stuck on a particular part of your project, then you move on and you tackle a smaller part. So after every 2 weeks during the week, if it looks like you're not going to be completing, then you move on to a part that you can't complete. So every 2 weeks you get something completed. So I can show you some of my wireframes, what I started with the application. Let's see if my wireframes come up. Bringing the wireframes in here. So this was my original conceptual design, where I'd have several tabs for various functions within the application. And then an item that I never got time to implement was a login page. So once you put your medication schedule in there, it'll be protected from anyone just viewing it. Then I would have a medication list of what medications you're currently taking. I would have a scheduling page for each medication, what you take in the morning, noon, and evening. And then a record when you take your medication. You could indicate whether you took it or not. And then a contact list page where when you don't take a medication or you didn't mark it as taken, you would specify who you would want notified, and like if you want a text message or an email, which I had APIs for that, and what the relationship is. So these would be the people that would be contacted if at the time, let's say it's 8 a.m. If you didn't take your medication and mark it, then a text message and or an email would go to the individuals that you indicate here. And then they could call you up and say, hey, you forgot. So that's basically my wireframe. So with that, let's take a look at what my application looks like. So you open up my application. It's hosted locally now, but it will be on Netlify and also connected to Mongo database and Heroku for routing to access the Mongo database, which is going to be used to store the schedule, the medications in your contacts. So I got this home page here. It has a little bit about the high cost of not taking your medications as prescribed, and then some tips. And then I have a credits down here. This is from the FDA website. I have a contact us page, so you can contact me and send an email to me of any concerns or questions. I have a contact list, so you'll have, right now it's only going to accept 3 contacts, and you put their name and their email for each, and I still have to add the phone number in here. And then once you save it, it's going to be saved to the cloud on Mongo, which is a feature enhancement. Drug interactions, you can select a drug, and this interfaces to the National Institute of Health medications site, and they have a lot of medications all listed at the NIH. So you can search for them, like maybe dexamethasone, and then there's a couple, and then you can click it. And then what this allows is you just can't type in any name as a medication. It has to be a registered medication so everything can pull together. And then what this is supposed to do, which is a feature enhancement, is read what you have on your medication schedule. And then over to the right, it'll say what drugs that there might be a interaction, whether it's a minor, major. It'll be like 3 levels. That's to be incorporated. So like, for instance, you could have like acetaminophen in here, and then one of your drugs might be something that reacts with acetaminophen. So once it's entered here, selected, it'll provide a list of any medications you're taking that are contraindicated with that medication. And the reason for this is you may be getting your medications from various doctors, so they may or may not know all your prescriptions. Man, from different pharmacies, and they may not know, so they're not going to catch any interactions. So the doctor gives you a new medication, and you want to see, well, is it contraindicated with anything I'm currently taking? You entered here, and it'll tell you that. Then we have the scheduling portion. The scheduling portion, you can enter a medication in like this, and you can do a search, find some hits. These are actual names that are registered with the NIH. And you select the one that matches, and you can just add it. Let's say I have another one. Let's say Tylenol. So you enter in what you think you know of the name, and it'll do a search. Like here's a bunch of things with Tylenol in it, and it'll take trivial names like here. This is a trivial name or brand name. It'll also take the regular name. So now we got 2 items here, and you can't change them after that. And then you say, well, take this one like this when you take them, and then when you click save, it'll go out and save that to a Mongo database. And let's see, you come back later and you open this page, and there'll already be entries that are read from the Mongo database. You'll be able to delete them or save when it adds new ones. And you can add as many as you want. So take that 3 times a day. So you can actually put your schedule in there. And then once the schedule is saved, a feature enhancement is a cron job or some batch process on some server that's going to go out to the Mongo database, and it's going to check what medications you've taken or not. That is going to be another tab here, so the user can indicate whether they took it or not, or it may be integrated here. I'm asking some people some questions and where they might want to see it. Like you could have another button here like taken, taken, taken. So like this would come up and you say taken, 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 or just the first one. And then the process will look at around 8 o'clock plus maybe an hour, noon, maybe plus an hour. And then like 5 evening plus an hour. If it doesn't see it as taken, then it'll go over to the contact list and send email and or text to those people that you indicated. I got the about page, and I still need to finish the a little background and how it works. I've talked to many people about this, and I've got so much positive feedback because they know people that are not taking their medication sometimes, whether it's themselves or a friend or grandma, grandpa. And in today's busy society, you know, they're living their lives, you're living your life. You can't be calling them all the time, but you can get text message, email like, oh, grandma forgot to take her medication. And then you can just call them up. Also, feature enhancement is having this application and interact with a smartwatch. So like your grandma, grandpa, or you yourself could have a smartwatch, and it can be connected to the internet. And what the application would do is it would buzz your smartwatch or make it ring, and then pop up a message you did take medicine A, medicine B, and it'd be immediately apparent. So no matter what you're doing, you don't have to worry about getting a text message or email if you're the person that's being monitored. And then that remind them, they go in there and then they go ahead and say, okay, I took it. So that and saving the data to a Mongo database, putting in a login form would be future enhancements due to time constraints. And using the agile methodology, I had to provide a minimal viable product. So this is the skeleton, and then the details in the back end can be done later. So I hope you like my presentation, and I hope I'm glad you watched it, and maybe it can help someone you know. Thanks for watching.